Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the recognition. I thank the gentleman for his leadership and that of his committee in bringing this important bipartisan legislation to the floor. I salute you. I salute Jerry Nadler, an author of this legislation, the chair of the Judiciary Committee, Mr. Katko, for his lead authorship among other, his lead co-sponsorship among other Republican members to make this strongly bipartisan.
Everybody, this is your fourth stimulus check update and news report. We have a lot of news to discuss in this video. But first of all, folks, do you support a fourth stimulus check of $1,000 a month? Let me know in the comments below. Everybody, I personally believe that our politicians in Congress must realize that the great American people still need assistance. There are many cities across the country that are still shut down, and there are still millions of Americans that are unemployed. Speaker Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and even President Biden must pass a fourth stimulus check right away. And if you guys agree with me, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. So far, everybody, the Biden administration is laying the groundwork for a long-term increase in food aid for tens of millions of Americans, without going through the ordeal of a fight with Republican lawmakers in Congress. More than a quarter of the households enrolled in SNAP benefits exhausted their monthly benefits in the first week after issuance, and more than half or so by the second week. According to many experts, the SNAP benefit is in many cases not adequate enough to provide the help and assistance that is needed in America. Recently, legislation to permanently extend eligibility for the federal SNAP benefits was introduced in Congress. Congress expanded eligibility requirements for SNAP in December to include full-time students who are participating in state or federal work-study programs, and those who do not receive financial support from family to pay for college. In addition, everybody, the latest stimulus check proposal is just one part of Gavin Newsom's $100 billion California comeback plan. Gavin Newsom hasn't wasted any time in selling his plan to millions of Californians, responding to a tweet saying Americans were wondering if more financial aid was coming. Newsom confidently said, "In California, the answer is yes. $600 are coming to 2/3 of Californians." Roughly 11 million households in California would see direct one-time payments under the plan, which targets middle-class Californians. In addition, folks, for tax years before 2021, the child tax credit is worth $2,000 per dependent under age 16. It begins to phase out if your AGI is above $400,000 on a joint return, or over $200,000 on a single or head of household return. Once your AGI surpasses $400,000 or $200,000, the credit amount is reduced by $50 for each $1,000. Everybody, up to $1,400 of the child tax credit is refundable for some lower income individuals with dependents, but you must also have at least $2,500 of earned income to get a refund. And thanks to the American Rescue Plan, the 2021 credit is increased to $3,000 per dependent for many families. The credit is also refundable for 2021 and the $2,500 earnings and the $2,500 floor earnings. Earnings floor is eliminated. In addition, everybody, the IRS will pay half of this year's credit in advance by sending monthly payments to families from July to December of this year. Thank you for watching, everybody, and until next time, have a great day and stay safe.
Republican members to make this strongly bipartisan. I'm excited about this legislation as a mother of 5 children, 4 daughters, 1 son, 9 grandchildren, that this is about a recognition of family and being family friendly in our legislation as more women are a part of the economic success of our country. I rise to support the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, a strong bipartisan step to assure that women are no longer forced to choose between maintaining a healthy pregnancy and a paycheck, a choice that for many has serious health consequences. This landmark legislation advances the health of women and children, the financial security of families, and really the dynamism of our American economy. And its passage, which while long overdue, is particularly urgent as the lives and livelihood of so many have under threat from the coronavirus. And again, I thank you, Mr. Leader, Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Katko and Mr. Nadler, and so many others for their leadership in passing this bill, and thanks to all the co-sponsors. Again, as a mother of 5, I'm especially proud to support the bill and want to salute all the mothers and women who have spoken out, also risking professional retaliation to end pregnancy discrimination in the workplace. This is what this means. It means that too often when a pregnant worker asks for a temporary job-related accommodation, she will be fired or pushed into unpaid leave, deprived of her paycheck and health insurance when she needs them most. This is particularly true in many fiscally taxing jobs, which tend to be low wage and traditionally dominated by men. And that is why we must pass the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, putting in place a clear, explicit pregnancy accommodation framework similar to the standard that is in place for decades for workers with disabilities, which I was proud to be part of. Our distinguished leader, Mr. Hoyer, has been a major leader in that regard. This legislation, Mr. Speaker, is also a matter of justice, as nearly 300 groups from the ACLU to 023 recently wrote to Congress from A to Z. Discrimination affects pregnant workers across race and ethnicity, but women of color and immigrants may be at particular risk. Latinas, Black women, and immigrant women are more likely to be held certain inflexible and physically demanding jobs that can present specific challenges for pregnant workers, making responsible accommodations on the job even more important, and loss of wages and health insurance due to pregnancy discrimination especially challenging. I think it's important to note that this legislation is important also from the standpoint of hiring. We want to make sure that employers who are hiring someone know there's a level playing field should the woman be of childbearing age or even already blessed with the pregnancy, that this is a positive initiative for their workplace, and they're treating that person with respect, is not placing them at any disadvantage if the playing field is level. This comes at a time when I mentioned about the pandemic, that around 2 million women were pushed out of the labor force. One out of 4 women report they're still worse off financially than a year ago. Studies show that it'll take 18 months longer for the women's employment to rebound from the pandemic than for men's, and the reduction of women's work hours and labor force participation is set to erase tens of billions of dollars from our economy. American women are part of the engine of America's economy and a key to building back better on this after this crisis. And again, as we all say, when women succeed, America